Do you want to see all the freezer meals you can do with 10 pounds of ground beef? If so, then just keep on watching. All right, you guys, as you saw, I had 10 pounds of ground beef. This is what we made before we get started. So I made a meatloaf here, made a total of 12 out of 10 pounds of ground beef. I made cabbage soup. You guys will see why soon in the video. I have stuffed cabbage filling for the exact same reason of why I made cabbage soup. I have 2 shepherd's pies without the potatoes on them because I plan on making fresh and putting them on top beforehand. I have 4 stuffed peppers, which is 1 for me, my husband, my dad, and my mom. I have Mongolian beef back here. 3 stroganoff meals. And 2, technically 2, for taco meat because I was supposed to do 2 tater tot enchilada casseroles. And I only did 1 because my foot is killing me. I don't know what I did, but I know once I go to the doctor, I'm going to get put on bed rest. So, took 2 hours and made 12 meals out of 10 pounds of ground beef. Let's get into how I made them all. Alright, you guys, I got this 10-pound thing of ground beef from Sam's. It cost me $30 for this 10 pounds because I went with the leaner meat. This is a 90-10? Is it 90-10? Yes, 90-10. So, let's get started. I don't know if this is going to take me 1 day or 2 days. It is literally 6 o'clock. Jameson just fell asleep. So, we're going to get as many freezer meals done as we possibly can. First one, starting with meatloaf. Alright, you guys, starting with meatloaf, I really don't have a recipe. Hubby's cutting about a 1/4 cup of onion, dicing it super small. I have 2 pounds of around 2 pounds of ground beef right here. Maybe a little less, but that's fine. When it comes to my meatloaf, again, I have no recipe. I go by
Taste.
Not even taste, by texture, I guess, and by look of it. So,
I would just tell them it's a family recipe.
yeah, it's my mom's, and I've been in the kitchen with her since a little kid, learning how to make her meatloaf, and I do it the exact same way every time. Now, the only thing I'm not going to freeze is the glaze that goes over the top, which is ketchup, brown sugar, mustard,
Vinegar.
and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Mix it together, and that goes on top of the meatloaf. I'm not freezing that part. We're just freezing the actual meatloaf. So I have about 2.5 big spoonfuls of garlic. I'm going to try to give you guys some sort of guidance, I guess, when it comes to this, but I don't know how well it's going to be. So I do about a tablespoon of Worcestershire, a couple of squirts of Worcestershire sauce. And then I use 2 different mustards. I use stone ground and yellow for the actual meatloaf itself. Thank you. That looks good to me, and that's gone. And then a little baby squeeze. I don't know how else to explain it. 1/4 cup of onion, just about. Italian seasoning, I don't know, a tablespoon.
Slice your rice.
All of it diced, about that size.
Even for the Mongolian beef and stuff too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go and do a shake or 2 of breadcrumbs. And then I add the smokehouse maple and the brown sugar bourbon. Just a little bit. I don't always add these, but we have them. They need to get used up, so we're using them. And it always adds that smokiness that I like to it. All right, a little bit of ketchup. What do you want to say, Chris? About a 1/4 cup of ketchup or so? I don't know. And an egg, and then I'll go from there. So, you get in and you mix it with your hands.
At this point, you guys should remove all rings and jewelry.
Well, I don't have any on, so.
I'm just giving your viewers a tip. They don't want to spend 20-30 minutes cleaning off
The rings.
Yeah.
I don't have any of my rings on. I don't know if y'all notice, but my hands get super swollen. So I haven't worn my ring in a little while. I could put it on every now and again, but my hands have been swollen lately. So, what is that? Oh, the thing that goes over the top. Okay, I needed to add just a tiny bit more breadcrumbs. And other than that, it looks good to me. So, hubby's over there chopping onions for all the rest of the recipes. Alright, now, to freeze this, I'm literally putting it in a foil loaf pan to be easy. And then when you're ready, you can either pull it out the day before, or if you forget, it's fine. This is forgiving. You could put it in frozen. $3.50, well, $3.75. And then when it's about halfway done, then put your glaze on. And that's it. I'm gonna wrap it in foil, and the meatloaf is done. All right, you guys, now we are gonna move on to easy ground beef stroganoff. This one is gonna get cooked, but not all the way. So, I'm gonna start with about a pound of ground beef, 1 bell pepper, which is about a cup, and about a cup of onion as well. Season it however you want to. I have complete seasoning. It's my favorite. It's literally every single seasoning you need in one: garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, parsley, all in one little guy. All right. We're also going to do about a tablespoon of garlic. I'm just using this guy because it's what I have on hand. And we're going to brown this up and cook this up also with a dash or two of Worcestershire. Cooking this up until the meat is browned, and I'll be right back. I lied. You got to add mushrooms. You don't have to. I bought them to add mushrooms, so. My husband just said, what's stroganoff without mushrooms? Why didn't you remind me then?
I thought you were already doing it.
No. Cooking this up. I was going to make meatballs in this video, which is super easy to do, you guys. But that's going to be in a separate video because I still have meatballs in my freezer. I thought we were going to be completely out. So, I'm not going to do that. But there's a lot of great recipes coming up in the rest of this video. I will leave the recipes on a slide at the end of the video. That way you guys can screenshot it and always come back to it. Because I'm going to do a one take for all freezer meals, or as many as I can tonight. So if I break it up into 2 days, then I'll do a slide, and then you guys know how I normally do it. So freezer meals are amazing. The reason I'm getting this done today is I re-injured my foot, and I don't know how long I'm going to be down. So I figured I would take a little bit of time, depending on how much time my ankle will let me stand for, and get these freezer meals done. Alright, you guys, ground beef is all cooked up and ready to go. You're going to add 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup. Again, this is an easy one. If you guys want my steak stroganoff, that one's totally different. But this one is my freezer meal stroganoff. So, and I will serve this either over, we can turn the heat off at this point. I'll serve this either over egg noodles or rice. And then, once I get both of these cans in here, you're going to need 3 tablespoons of sour cream. Then you're going to let this cool and bag it up. And that's it. Super simple, super easy. One, 2, 3, 4 hefty spoonfuls of sour cream. Alright, mix this together. I did not drain my meat because I have the lean meat. Most of that liquid is from the vegetables. Alright, mix it up, cool it down. This may end up being 2 meals for us, Chris. That's a lot. I'm going to put these in quart-sized bags. We'll see how many we get, because a quart size should be about what we need. Unless my mom's home. Even if mom's home, huh? Maybe we'll have to pull out 2, but I think there might be at least 3 quart-sized bags of this. Alright, I'm going to let this cool, bag it up, and let's move on to the next one. Alright, now this meat is getting used for 2 meals. One is cabbage rolls. The other one is stuffed peppers. They're the exact same filling, so let's get started. Couple tablespoons of garlic. I love garlic, that's why I add so much. About 1 onion or so. And then complete seasoning, because y'all know my addiction. And then I'm going to add Italian seasoning. And what is it? Some extra oregano. Super simple. Then I'm going to add 2 cans of diced tomatoes. This is the one with the basil, garlic, and oregano. This one's my favorite. Gonna drain them, but I'm gonna save the juice. And the reason I'm saving the juice is so that way it can go on top and on the bottom of cabbage rolls. Some people add tomato sauce. I just use the juice. Alright, and then in goes the tomatoes. That's a lot of tomatoes. Let's see where this gets us first. Okay. And then I'm going to start with a cup of rice. But I may use more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you mix this together. It's okay if you squish the tomatoes. Alright, I'm going to get all this mixed together because the sound is weird, and then I'll be right back. Alright, I'm going to add another half cup of rice. You know what? I'm going to add the full cup. So 2 full cups of rice. Because of it being in the freezer, I'm adding a little bit of extra rice, which is why I decided to do the full 2 cups. So that way, you know, when you freeze vegetables and stuff, they let off liquids. So I did steam my cabbage in my Instapot for 5 minutes on high pressure, just so I can get those cabbage leaves broken apart. And I also am going to have my husband core out the peppers. All right, so that's what you want. Meat to rice ratio. I would go a little less if I was doing this fresh, but we're not. So, all right, I overcooked my cabbage. So what I'm gonna do is fill my peppers first, take some of this out, cook the ground beef, add the other can of this and the cabbage, slightly like move the cabbage around, and we're gonna make cabbage roll soup. It's totally fine. Totally fine. All right, let's do cabbage roll soup. All right, so for the stuffed peppers, I'm going to cut the top off, and I literally just take this part out. You could sit there, and then I take my nails and go down the ribs of the pepper. And then I'm going to take the filling, stuff the pepper. Then I'm going to wrap these in foil. And then once they're wrapped in foil, obviously put your top back on. I'll wrap them in foil. Once they're wrapped in foil, I'm going to put them in a gallon Ziploc bag. All right. Stuff in the pepper again. It's so easy to do these. And then you just unwrap them and put them in a baking dish. I just don't have a deep enough baking dish to put these guys in to cover it and throw it in my freezer. All right, I didn't even have to wrap them in foil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quart size of this meat and just freeze it and put cabbage roll meat on it. That way all I have to do is defrost it and then make the cabbage on the stove, because obviously I don't know how to do it in the Instapot. And then we'll do it that way. And then I'm still going to make cabbage roll soup. So I'm getting a whole nother meal out of this meat right here. So we'll get cabbage roll soup and actual cabbage rolls. Saving about a pound for the actual soup itself. That looks good. Okay. I'm just going to write cabbage roll meat on here. And then this is going to get cooked. All right, now that my meat is brown, I'm going to add that juice that I had in the bottom of the pan that I was going to put the cabbage rolls in, or one of them anyways. Put that in there. Put the cabbage roll water in there. And I'm not going to cook this all the way. Like, I'm not going to cook the rice all the way. And then I'm going to add cabbage. I don't know how much. We'll see. Probably about half of this. 2, 3. And then I'm not going to even add any more liquid to this. My husband wanted a little bit to saute in garlic and onions and bacon. So that's for him. All the rest of it I added. You guys could add the entire thing. I'm going to add some of this. It's chicken tomato bouillon base. About a tablespoon. But I'm not going to add the extra water to it, so that way it doesn't leak in my freezer. Mix this all up. And then I'm going to throw this in my freezer, but add more water. Since I already added the chicken base. I'm going to add water to the top of the pot since I know I'm going to make it in this one anyways. And let rice cook all the way. So, this is going into a Ziploc bag. So, as you guys saw, I messed up. It's fine though. We still got a good meal out of it, plus extra. So, alright, I'm going to have Hubby help me with this because it's hot. Now we're moving on to my husband's favorite meal, which is going to be Mongolian beef. Using about a pound. And we're going to serve this over rice.
Just as you said.
Okay. I'm browning up the meat. Adding about 2-ish tablespoons of, I'll have to double bag it. 2-ish tablespoons of sesame oil to my pan. And we're going to brown this up with some onion. As much or as little onion as you want. I add green onion to this as well, so I'm not going to add too much. And some bell pepper. Let's be real, just because I have it. Alright. I'm going to brown this up. And then we'll get to the sauce. While the meat is cooking, I'm also going to add ginger. You can add as little or as much as you want. My husband is part Asian, so we add a lot. And then we're also going to add just a little bit of garlic. Not a lot. Normally I do this with steak, but I told Chris that I wanted to try to do it with ground beef just to see how it would taste. And also give a cheaper option to still have Asian food without the pricey price point.
Roast being almost $30.
Yeah. So, now that my meat is in the majority of the way cooked, I'm going to add green onions. I do them about this size. And I'm just going to cut them straight into the pan. I'm just going to mix that till they get bright green. And then it gets turned off. And then we'll add the sauce. Let it cool down. And get it into a bag. See how quick that was? Turning it off. Alright. I'm going to add the smallest amount of cornstarch. Now, if you guys are not doing fresh homemade teriyaki sauce, then you're going to have to add more. I'm adding about a teaspoon or so. just to thicken up my sauce a little bit more from when it goes from freezer to defrost. Now, this is homemade teriyaki sauce, so it is thick. I added a little over half a cup because I want extra for the rice. And then a tiny bit of rice vinegar. I'm going to add about half a tablespoon or so and mix it up. And that's it. That's Mongolian beef. Super easy. We're going to serve this over rice and fresh broccoli. Well, like steamed broccoli. Oh yeah, that's amazing. All right, so the next two items, again, is going to be the exact same thing. One of them is going to be taco meat. So half of this mixture is going to get saved for taco meat. The other half of the mixture is going to get changed into an enchilada tater tot casserole. So we are going to use about 2 pounds of meat. We're getting closer. Okay, about 2 pounds of meat. We're gonna brown this up. Garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. Or, in my case, complete seasoning. And then once it's browned, then we'll divide it. You know what? I'm going to do the rest of this because the other meal is going to be for shepherd's pie. So if I ground them, yep, that's what we're going to do. All right. The rest of my meat, I'm adding in here. Complete seasoning. That's it. Super simple. Grounding it up. Be right back. All right. While I got my meat browning up, we're going to start on the shepherd's pie. I'm not going to put my potatoes on it right now. I'll put it on when it's time. So I'm going to take this entire bag of frozen peas and carrots. And I'm going to add an onion. The rest of my onion. Because I'm not doing one of my freezer meals, I'm going to add the rest of this bell pepper as well. And then, there you go. Now y'all can see it. So I have in here a whole bag of peas and carrots. I'm hoping this will make 2. It's just one from Dollar Tree. Grocery store, I think. I don't remember where I bought it. I believe I got it at Dollar Tree though. So in here is that bag of frozen peas and carrots, onions, and the bell pepper. Now, you guys are like, how are you going to do this without putting the gravy into the actual meat itself? Well, I have this brown gravy mix. You can use 1 packet, which is a tablespoon. Actually, 1 tablespoon is a packet? Really? There is no way. We're doing 2 tablespoons of the brown gravy. And as it cooks, the veggies, when it goes into the oven, it'll cook and make that gravy. So, I need a spoon. This one. And I'm just going to toss this together. And again, I'm going to do the exact same thing as I did with the meatloaf. I'm just going to use those pans. Alright, I feel bad. Hubby was down here helping me, and Tank went up and ate his pizza. Alright, so I'm going to add some of this to the vegetables. I feel terrible. Chris. Look at him.
I don't give a fuck.
Chris, I'm filming.
I don't care.
Real life of a man getting his pizza taken away by the dog. Okay. I'm going to mix this together. And I'm going to put this in my pan. And then I'll wrap it in foil. And then day of, I will put mashed potatoes on it. You could make mashed potatoes and freeze them. I just don't have any potatoes on hand because I planned on making homemade potatoes. So that way in 2 weeks, when I go grocery shopping again, I'll grab potatoes for this meal. You guys should have seen all of these recipes made in my What's for Dinners. Is it gone? He didn't eat it? Doing what? Oh no, he didn't even eat the pizza. Yeah, that means he was trying to wake up Jameson. True. Alright. Pouring this into these little pans. We'll see how many I get. Leaving room for the potatoes. Okay, so there's one. And then two. So I made two for my family. I may end up pulling both of these out for a dinner, just depending on who's home that day. All right, I'm gonna drain this meat and then we'll get started on the other two meals. All right, I thought I had a taco packet. I don't. It's fine though. We're still gonna make this. I'm gonna make it how I normally make my enchiladas, my beef enchiladas. So, what I'm gonna do in this pan is add 1 can of the old El Paso red enchilada sauce. And out of my fridge, I'm getting tired, y'all. 2 hours, 2 hour freezing meals. But I got them all done. And then like, I don't know, a cup and a half of cheese or so. This is for 2 meals. Maybe 3, we'll see. So, we're gonna do the beef enchilada tater tot casserole. Now, I don't have another enchilada sauce can either, so mild taco sauce is where it's at. If you have 2 of these, use 2. I'm using what I have on hand to get these done, so. And then I will save some of this for actual tacos. Let's move these guys out of the way. And we're doing 2 tater tot casseroles. So you're gonna add a layer of meat. I know normally it goes tater tot meat. Dang it. I lied. You need tater tots first. My foot is killing me. Okay. Tater tots laid down on the bottom. Completely frozen. All right, we have a layer of tater tots. We're gonna put a layer of Mexican cheese. Just a little bit. We're gonna add a layer of the meat mixture. Then we're gonna put a layer of tater tots and sprinkle it with cheese. And that is how you make beef enchilada tater tot casserole. Okay. That is done. And I like going the opposite direction of the tater tots. Then as I laid them on the bottom. I don't know why. And then when it's time to cook this, you bake it at 350 until everything is hot and bubbly. Okay. I'm gonna finish laying the tater tots on this guy. Why is it white? There we go. Is that better? Not really. It is officially 8 o'clock. I started this at 6 o'clock. And we are on the home stretch, you guys. And it would have been a shorter time if I didn't have to take breaks in between. I only did like an hour, maybe hour and a half of work, of actual cook time. Okay. Let me wrap this with foil. All right, you guys, 10 pounds of meat made 12 dinners for my family. I hope you guys enjoy this. I am tired. My foot is sore, but it's all ground beef recipes that my family will eat. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know if you guys like freezer meals. And if you do, have you tried any of these freezer meals yet? And if you have not, will you? And that is it, you guys. Don't forget, be smart, be strong, be safe. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button down below so you can become part of the family before you go. And also for more recipes and food related videos like this one.